When his newest job ends up putting him directly into the path of Miles Morales' Spider-Man, will Deadpool's morality be tested in front of his daughter Ellie? Well, let's hop into the pages of Deadpool issue number 11, the big kick-off to the Pools of Blood crossover, and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, as this brand new issue begins, Cody Ziglar makes the very smart choice to get everyone up to speed on what's been happening in the Deadpool book in case you are picking this one up for the very first time. And I mean, hey, considering the popularity of Deadpool and Miles right now, it makes a lot of sense because this crossover is probably going to live in trade form for many years to come. In case you need a refresher, Deadpool and his estranged daughter Ellie started up a brand new mercenary company only for Deadpool to die for real at the hands of the supervillain Death Grip. After that, the company hit the financial skids, and because of that, Wade has been forced to take some rather morally gray jobs to try and recoup his losses. Right now, that means ending the life of Miles Morales' Spider-Man at the behest of one of his foes, Agent Gap. Naturally, Ellie doesn't like the idea of killing an innocent superhero who's done nothing wrong, and even though her and her father had an extensive conversation in the last issue about how Ellie could never think less of her father because of the line of work he's in, well, let's just say that she's being tested on that right away. Because of Ellie, Deadpool actually ends up missing his first shot and gets chewed out by Gao soon after. We also see that the former cop is joined in this issue by two new henchmen, Midas and Output. Gao's grudge against Miles is old and runs very deep, and because of that, she decides to try and sweeten the pot to get Deadpool back on her side. Gao says that she's working for a brand new benefactor with access to some pretty heavy-duty military hardware, and if Wade manages to get the job done like he promised, then Agent Gao will see about outfitting him for his next fight with Death Grip, which is unfortunately one of those offers that Deadpool can't really say no to right now, and even Ellie has to kinda acquiesce, though they do go out of their way to make fun of Gao's new goons, calling them generic gun guys. Though maybe they're not totally stupid, as at least Midas realizes that it's probably not a good idea to publicly execute a superhero if you don't want a world of hurt being dropped on your head. Now, Deadpool's next shot ends up ringing true, hitting Miles while he was talking on his phone. Deadpool also says this isn't his first rodeo dealing with a Spider-Man, they're best friends. Well, he's friends with one of them. And the trick is you gotta shoot him on the thwip, not the thwip. It's after that, though, something really interesting happens. Deadpool and Ellie chase Miles down to the alleyway where he fell, only to see that he's blown up like a pufferfish. Oh no, he didn't get stung by a bee or anything. This isn't actually Miles at all. This is his clone brother, Shift, which honestly is a genius bit of writing courtesy of Ziglar, especially if you've been paying attention to the main Miles book. Miles has been busy in Wakanda. He hasn't worn that costume in a while, and Shift was running around as Miles to make it look like he never left. Obviously, this turn of events only makes Ellie feel even worse. Not only were they about to kill an innocent hero who did nothing wrong, they managed to shoot someone who was even more innocent, minding their own business and not actually Spider-Man, period. Thankfully, though, in all of those pouches, Wade actually does have some band-aids that Ellie makes use of, trying to get Shift on their side. Deadpool feels a little differently, though, thinking to himself, hey, if they couldn't tell the difference between Shift and Miles, maybe Agent Gao won't either. So maybe he should just shoot the big lovable clone and get it over with, only for Ellie to eventually talk him into maybe trying to pull some sort of double cross on Gao. After all, Ellie has a tracking app on her phone that can zero in on her father's DNA, so maybe if they just make it look like they're handing Shift over to Gao, they can procure their weapons and then break Shift out later, so long as Shift is willing to take some of Wade's blood. Which he reluctantly does, only it's at that very moment Miles ends up walking in on this very strange scene as his clone brother is getting dripped on by a bleeding Wade, something that neither Wade nor Ellie can very easily explain to Spider-Man. Furthermore, in a nice bit of continuity, this crossover remembers that Miles and Ellie had actually met each other in an older Spider-Man backup. Of course, Ellie was not on her best behavior in that story, and she did kind of sort of blow Miles up, meaning the young Spider-Man has even less reason to trust the two Deadpools right here, right now. In fact, this is the first Wade is hearing about it, and he doesn't like it at all. Oh my god, Spider-Man, you had a secret crossover with my daughter and didn't tell me? I'm furious. We're supposed to be best friends, don't you know? Well, I'm supposed to be best friends with one of you. What would the other Spider-Man think if he knew, only for Miles to go, yeah, I don't talk to him that much these days, and it's true, he doesn't. At least in this book, he sure doesn't. Miles, aided by his brand new vibrant vibranium spider suit and webbing makes quick work of the two Deadpools, who obviously are at a major disadvantage now, what with having their healing factors greatly reduced. Once again, Ellie reminds her father that they need to do what Taskmaster was trying to teach them, and that is fight together in unison as a team using her amazing brain. She can try and find the flaw in his techniques, and again, it makes sense. Taskmaster has fought both of the Spider-Mans at length, and because of that, he's an expert in their moves. Deadpool, in a nice little bit of growth, trusts his daughter too, and together they end up pulling off one hell of a combination, slashing at Miles' arm so he can't get a web shot off, before eventually kneeing him in the face for some extra damage. Of course, it's right around here Miles figures, alright, you know my moves, that's pretty interesting, well let me show you something new that Taskmaster has never seen, before eventually lighting up the full force of his bioelectrical sword as the comic comes to a close. And so that was Deadpool issue number 11, everybody, and as far as kickoffs to big crossover storylines go, this one was certainly a lot of fun. You can tell Ziegler is really enjoying getting to be the master of his own destiny on a crossover for a change, complete with a lot of great in-jokes and callbacks to both series, as well as moments wherein I ended up slapping my own head and going, aw man, why didn't I think of that? That's so smart. In fact, it's so fun, so funny, and so fast-paced, I'm willing to excuse the fact that like 80% of this issue was just 3 characters fighting in an alley. And oh, don't worry, the comic is sure to break the fourth wall and make a self-referential joke about that fact too, that they haven't really changed venues in a while. I'm interested to see who Agent Gao's benefactor is, and if we'll possibly see Miles and Deadpool team up to deal with all of the bad guys in one go in this event, or if that's going to be something they save for when the crossover ends. Overall, I did certainly enjoy this one. I had a lot of fun with it, and I'll definitely be excited to check out the Miles book, which will be dropping this week. Overall, I think I feel comfortable giving this issue, though, a 7.5 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest, that's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.